Let's start off by creating brand new rows inside of a database. And this is going to be done by doing an insert statement. So insert statements create brand new rows. Now you'll notice the syntax here. Insert, and then optionally you can put in the word into. Personally, I like it because I think it reads a little bit better. The table that we want to put it into, and then optionally the list of columns. After that first part, then you need to provide the values, and this can be done by either providing hard-coded values by using the values keyword, or this could be dynamic by utilizing a select statement. Now I mentioned before that the column list is optional. If it's provided, then you have to provide the data in that order. If it's not provided, however, you must provide the data in the order of the table, keeping in mind that you can skip any column that's marked as an identity or an auto count. Generally speaking, not listing the columns is considered a best practice because the order of the columns could change behind the scenes in the table, and B, it just reads better if you've got all of the columns. One of the things that your tables could of course have are columns that are marked as null or have default values. If you want to explicitly state that you're putting in a default value, you can do that by using the default keyword. By the way, if you leave the column off, it'll just automatically do that. And if you want to explicitly state that you're putting in a null value, then you can also just simply say null. Now again, if a column allows for null values and you don't list it, it'll automatically become null. The last thing that we want to look at before we go do our demo is what are known as row constructors. And what row constructors allow us to do is to, with one value statement, provide multiple sets of values. And the way that this is done is just by putting the values together inside of parentheses and just putting commas between each block. Let's take a look at how we could do this. New query window, connect to the AdventureWorks database, and let's insert data into the category table inside of AdventureWorks. Now I'm going to use the category table just because it's a relatively small one. You'll notice that if we go into the Object Explorer, that there's actually only 4 columns there. That we've got the primary key, which is the product category ID, the name, the row GUID, and the modified date. Now, as far as the product category ID goes, that is an auto count, so we won't need to provide that, but we can provide the name and the row GUID and the modified date. So let's do that. So over here, I'm going to say insert into production product category, and then we'll say name, and then I'm just going to come down here and we'll say row GUID. In fact, it's really also not a bad idea just to put that down like that. Row GUID, and then modified date, and then our values, and let's say widgets. Let's go ahead and say new ID. That's going to create a brand new GUID. And then finally, our modified date, and we'll just say get date. And so that'll insert in our new value. And by the way, if we wanted to create multiple, then we could actually just come right down to the next line, and then we'll just say more widgets. We'll say new ID, and we'll say get date, just like that. When we execute this, you'll notice that all that we get back is just simply 2 rows affected. Now, what I can do is I can come down here and just simply say select, and let's just grab the name from production product. Let's make sure we just highlight that, and you'll notice that I chose the wrong table. Let's choose the right table. There we go. And now if I say product category, you'll notice that there are our more widgets and our widgets that we inserted in. And if we do this, and I know technically we're really not supposed to do this, but we can do it for simplicity's sake here, you'll notice sure enough that there is our brand new product category IDs, there's our names, there's our GUIDs, and there is the modified dates. Pretty slick. So just like that, we're able to create brand new data.